Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of 3C's Attorney Chronicles. Last episode, we discovered that our room, the cabin next door, was a woman disguised as a man. And apparently, they're pretty much hiding something. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we managed to find some clue as to what the Speckled Man might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never be able to get past that sealer guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrist. Somehow I got my cuffs back on because of him. Damn it. Can I literally talk to you? Really wish we had a chance to look around Miss Pavlova's cabin. He's staring. What? Why you look at that? You want something? Maybe you want you to throw you out again, Oh, no. Definitely not that. Next time I throw you out, I'll show you where lobsters spend winter, understand? Understand? Maybe I should just steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think we'll be able to forget your face, Naruto-san. I guess we have to... move? Alright, maybe back at the Cosmos cabin. Looks like they were still investigating here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Osanaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruto-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. No, I don't think so. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new info for us. You never know. How about you? You, where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Seaman Osanaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him to a ball and throw him in cold room. Phew, he's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Osanaga doesn't find himself too much trouble in our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruto-san. Is there anything else? All the books provided for passengers occupied his camera neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you? You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior cabins lead to damage, but it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well anyway, I feel much better now you're neatly lined up. When I can't relax when things are untidy. Alright. There has to be some sort of clue that could help us. So it's clear that these letters were written in ink that was somehow spilt on the floor. They spelt the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an ambiguous pointer to you, Naruto-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly ambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Cosmo-san would have written his last words, or word in Russian, which begs the question of who did write it. It must be the Ruskies, damn Ruskies. This is where Cosmo spent his final moments writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. I could hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled man is dangling from the ventilator grill. Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Cosmo-sama left us a valuable clue in these words. Sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruto-san. We will. And then the ventilator grid. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. And just a few minutes before he died, Cosmo saw something emerging from it. The speckled man, as he described it. Only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it. She seemed as baffled as we are. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything. No, they must be lying. I'm pretty sure when we asked that question about, like, about that ventilator thing, she kept quiet about it for some odd reason. I'm not sure. Most people with a board would say the same thing about me, but there's something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Alright, let's talk to Osanaga. Ah, you're back. Inspector? What happened to you? Your face is... Oh, please don't worry about it. He got beat up, did he? They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe. And I told the captain I'd given you permission to investigate. He told me he pummeled me with his fist and tossed me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, I understand. Oh? I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though. That explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we've found out. Yes, let's do it. Cabin next door. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan want to know that graceful angel? Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's little more that I could do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. There's one thing. I do have a small piece of new info for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. New info. What is this new information you have, Inspector? If it's this... The Beria medical officer just finished his examination of the body and managed to obtain the report, autopsy report. Oh, Cosmo's post-mortem report. Cosmo-sama. So what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae. What's written in the report? His neck was broken? Was it instantly? Or was it, like, slowly? Yes, it would seem so. Did someone, like, strangle him? There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury, so at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact remains there is no signs of a wound. Such a may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. A blunt object that wouldn't leave a mark. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy to report. It might be proved useful, so you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have to agree to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. No signs of injury or poison. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about the floor investigating. But then, he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there by the piece of broken glass, do you see? That broken glass has got me this thing right here, that is very, I feel like this is very out of place. So first considering the cause of death, like a blunt force object, you would assume like, I don't know, there would be no blood, maybe? Oh yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. Well, what is it, Sato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then? Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh? Does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as he scuffed on the floor? I feel like I have to check the court record. That's all really I could tell you at this stage. Let me check the court record right now. Because we're gonna need to like, okay, time of death, sometime between 1 AM and a little past 2 AM, so like a near 1 hour time frame. Yep, broken neck, no external injuries or traces of poison, a blow to the area of the neck. I wonder what we can find, what this line is, and what this piece of glass is related to, but we'll see. Or I can say, I should return to my post. Fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best, thank you. Poor Inspector, you look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible all that I failed to protect Osugi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You are his friends. The truth is, I seem to have a heavy head ever since I woke up this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing, too. I feel like if there's really nothing else I can really explore, should we move back? There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I Can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then, perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Cos- No, no, no! It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. Well, it looks like whatever it was is broken clean in two, but the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's brick-colored mark, which is shoe polish, according to the great detective you seem to all know about. I suppose it must be from Cosmo-sama's shoes. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can a detective be so sure it's shoe polish and not something else? Because he's a great detective, of course. That's hardly a reason, is it? Alright, I think we have to move. Well, this is technically a bad sign for us if we can't really get info. I think the info we need is from her cabin. Look, Naruhodo-san. Seaman Stroganoff is gone. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who is always crossing his arm and glaring at us. All these Russian names are impossible to remember. Tra-la-la. Do you hear that? Sounding like someone singing. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. I did it the great detective way. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can investigate. Definitely. Before that stringy knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look! Wow. You never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? Seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Tra-la-la-la-la-la. I did it the great detective way. Still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And it threw it off when there was doubt. It's luckily her luck was about. Excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, I was about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good a time as any. Nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. What, does he want to beat me up or something? God dang it. This animation. Alright, I get the picture. Can you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. Owls and mirrors in the study of the ship's log, penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there is nothing to report. Nothing to report? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report, by the way. Nothing to know happened, so. You truly are a student of the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever you mean, Mr. Sholmes. Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem that the same crewman stands sentry in this first-class passageway. He almost has a religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's stat. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which would lead to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing, nothing reported in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. No entries from 2 AM until early this morning. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes brilliant? Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for... You too? Nothing... You too? Well, my friends, to our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders down the passageway. Is there something wrong, Susato-san? Seems lost in thought. It's just... Well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke up this morning, I've had something of a headache. Sort of continuous drop. You too? Now that is very suspicious. Okay, so Ryunosuke had the same thing. Osanaga too. Herlock Sholmes too. Even and now like frickin' Susato-san too. That's very strange. Nothing to report. And after 2 AM, there's something very wrong here. So something must have happened within this time frame that made him write nothing to report. So I'm guessing. All right. I think it's finally time that we should head in. Miss Pavlova's cabin. This could be our chance. What? The burly sailor doesn't appear to be around at the moment. We can investigate every last inch of that cabin. I'm not sure if we can go that far, but we could certainly do with looking around more. I'm sure we can learn something. Alright, we gotta do this very fast before they come back. Suspiria First Class. Cabin number 2. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Sato-san? Oh, where's she gone? Hey! What are you doing? Those are private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruto-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Cosmo's sake. Not just for Cosmo-sama. What do you mean? Can't be long now until we arrive at the port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. But really? We must solve this case, Naruto-san, by ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Yes. Alright, explore the best we can. Naruto-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here, yes, why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed in the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know? Well, anyway, I'm not sure if anyone could fit inside this one. Full beautiful outfits. I suppose they're also stage costumes. I was rather hoping we'd find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Maybe. It's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled man coming out of this ventilator. There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to! We trying to investigate in secret. Don't let them come to us, okay? Ah yes, they're displayed in this cabin, too. Look, the SS Burrier rules of passage. Passengers must not keep... Yep, blah blah blah. Suppose Miss Pavlova realized she needed to keep the contents of her case secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. Wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. She's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. So Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it, throw it overboard. Oh, yes, so do I. All the books up toppled over together? Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. Cosmo's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a different ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know? Okay. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. You're actually gonna fix her books? Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend she had to keep secret. But because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Burrier, I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. It's probably like a cat. It has to be. Like, there's no other... If it's not a dog or a rabbit, it must be a cat. Alright, we'll see. And more to the point, where is it now? Ding 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 ding. What? What's that? We're under attack! What is going on? Shut down the engines immediately! Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward! Full stop! Hard to starboard! All hands brace for impact! No! We're gonna run into something! No! What the? We're about to crash into another I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? Get down! No! I can't stand. Sada-san, hold on to me. Sada-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think. Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anyone in there? Shout if you need assistance. Sounds like Inspector Osanaga. Is that you in there, Naruhodo? Unbolt the door quickly. What? The bolt? Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that to Sato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And... Look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Now, Hoda-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I better tidy this place up first. A violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way, but I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. I have a bad feeling about this. Then again, I always have a bad feeling about almost anything. Alright, let's continue. End of January, as Suspiria Miss Pavlova's cabin. Somehow the door to the cabin where we were ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Sada-san took a deep breath and then gently slid back on the bolt. And
you, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters?
You both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we were fine. Thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's some dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop.
Everything is chaos. The passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere.
This first-class cabin area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! All dressed up in black! You are the devil! Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil's a first. You opened my traveling case, how could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Spectre. Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. He's not enough that he's killed a man.
Duh, he is stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe?
Ugh. Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else.
Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right, you are devil.
It doesn't look good, does it?
There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police.
Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Osanaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I gotta find a solution. Immediately. Just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand. She's investigating. Don't touch my things.
You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates?
Yeah! So Naruto, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me. And I was just starting to think she was my friend. Why does everyone hate me all of a sudden? Anyone can help me out of this mess? Miss Pavlova, can I get out? Listen, I'm sorry we snuck in here without your permission, but get out now. We just need to investigate here to... I don't speak Russian. Ugh, it's no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will. Please, give me a little more time.
I do nothing for you, except show your way to the ship's prison cell.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm innocent. I didn't kill anyone.
And trespassing and stowing away?
Well, you know... Sometimes life can lead you down to some unusual avenues, and well...
Enough! You are guilty! Ship's cell is only the only place fit for you.
Come on, there has to be someone. Someone save me from this crisis. You got yourself in a difficult situation here by entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I could do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. But I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Paolo's cabin. Now this happened, I have to report to the captain at once. Really need some help here. I need a saber to rescue me from this crisis. What is he doing here? Sorry, guys. What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. No. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? Properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine it would bend that conceited hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. I never know what to take this man seriously or not. It's you again, the great detective. Inspector Osanaga, I come to confess, I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than the hook on the wall next time.
What is to report? Speak!
Urgent report from the great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? I have eliminated all possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal the great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Deduction.
Ha! You have solved it! Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all know who was responsible for killing student boy this morning. We found criminal in wardrobe.
We have evidence that it wasn't me, you idiot.
It is the stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it.
I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because everyone knows the cabin door was shut from the inside. That means the culprit must have been someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it was called a locked room mystery in the detective story.
The locked room, that is point!
The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from the outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin, despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you as we speak. The ventilator, man. The ventilator?
Gah ha ha ha. You think this is funny? I cannot put my arm through that hole.
That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Ah, but it is. Last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Cosmo-san wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I could hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks to be some sort of speckled man is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. What does it mean? What is a speckled man? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you is all to see to shock you to your cores. Behold. Gah! Ah! What the? Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the Speckled Man. A snake? Indubitably. A snake. And why is it covering his face? I don't know what to say. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? Looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case you have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? Well, you both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap in which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it's time I explain the intricacies of train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. The whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I've drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. He's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Hisogi. It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I advise a little movement as possible, Miss Seaman. You will want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Is it a deduction time? The great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic number 1. Intruder's identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your intricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally it was the friend in which you were boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writing servant you see before us. I think that's wrong. The way she's questioning marking it. And yet, that fact leaves us a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell the Speckled Man wears regrettably. The specimens for Arkans do not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? Was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have to answer this quandary even now, but hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can be only the snake's slouched skin. Evidently, after the subtle horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to be the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, in which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of a snake whose markings change each time it slouches its skin. A snake so dreadful we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. In conclusion, a beloved speckled snake. Topic number 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we can come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it appeared that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of this victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as a fact, yeah, the cause of death is a broken vertebrae, whatever. We can reasonably imagine there were remains of evidence to affirm the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wounds by the left of the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestige of the snake bite delivered by the terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid everything that links to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made a note of low whistling sound they heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend? To train? Indeed. You put the serpent through this ventilator and wait, after a period you summoned it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. And if the victim appeared to not have been dispatched, you released the snake once more. Do you deny that this snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed to only sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took place on the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Conclusion. Death by a venomous snake's bite. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Yeah, I could tell there were like a few things wrong. Miss Pablo was trained her snake as a killing machine. There on the forums you will observe a saucer of milk that promised food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I can see why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Yeah, we could tell. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me.
welcome my questions as to my method. I will answer both loudly and proudly.
Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family.
You are well-informed, madam.
And reptiles, don't drink milk.
Ah.
It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward.
No matter, no doubt Miss Pavlova used some other trick to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example, the logic holds.
Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears.
Ah.
Yes, so I'm not sure it would be really possible to signal a snake by whistling.
But madam, what are the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute?
Why does this sound so familiar?
That sounds very familiar. I think perhaps the performers played our music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept to be practically useless.
Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing.
You have more?
Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins.
Then you should try harder!
Try harder, forehead! Please don't be angry at me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had undergone the ventilator in the next door cabin, it wouldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. I guess she's right, though. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naru.
Oh no, you don't mean...
Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deduction and determine the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming.
Alright, let's give it a try. Just what was I waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, right.
So, cast your eyes down on your wrists again.
What?
Oh my... You've done it again!
Your handcuffs are gone!
Where did it go? Fear not, I shall see that they are restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off.
Now, everyone, let us begin. Alright, we are gonna save right now. So next time on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, we're gonna continue and fix the deductions of Herlock Sholmes and hopefully get to the bottom of this unsolved mystery of the Speckled Man. See you guys all next time.